Conor Okus, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right. Why are you late?
I was late.
Yeah, you were late. Why were you late? You
It's 12 o'clock start now, isn't it?
bring the mic in.
12 o'clock start, and I arrived at 12 o'clock now.
You're the big man. No, you're 5 minutes
Nah,
late.
it's the Miami Heat, man. Sometimes it slows you down.
Literally the only one who's been late this whole trip, isn't he?
The only one.
The only one. We need a cancel trip.
And I'm the least notable guest as well. No one knows who I am as well. So I've got no right to be doing that as well.
Yeah, but you're my favourite.
I'm sorry, man.
No, I'm fucking with you. You're my favourite, man. It's good to see you.
Yeah, you too, man.
So we heard you're a really likable guy.
Okay.
Do you know what-
Good from good sources.
I mean, you're the source.
I'm the source.
Yeah, you called yourself a likable guy.
Did I really? When did I do that? I didn't do that. Did I genuinely do that?
So someone did it.
Someone did it, but it was said in the first person on the Spiral website.
Oh, really?
I'm a likable guy.
I mean, yeah, that's probably our creative guy who's come up with that.
You are an annoyingly likable guy, though.
Seriously.
Yeah, man, you are annoying.
That's not a bad trait to have.
No,
though.
it's a great trait.
It's not a bad trait to have.
You're a good guy. I'd like getting to know you, man.
Yeah.
And thank you for all your help with Real Bedford.
Do you know what? I've got so much FOMO though, man, because I've moved from London to Miami and being able to see you guys like celebrate and stuff in person. I'm not gonna lie, it brings the tears to my eyes not to be there. Like that first trophy, those first two trophies, like seeing the lads what they've been able to achieve this year. Because I mean, the journey started last year. I was playing for the team, and all of that kind of stuff. And to see where it's gone on, it's like it's crazy, man. It's crazy, and it's just getting started as well. Like most people don't know, it's just getting started. And for me to bring the football and the Bitcoin together, it's like if you would have told me 5, 6, 7 years ago, would this be my career? I'd be like, what are you on about? Like, I just
Well, you were there from the start, pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah.
Was it Steve Lee got in touch?
Yeah. As soon as you like tweeted about you're buying a football club, I was like, I've still got a bit of legs in me. Like whether I'm participating on the field or off the field with the Bitcoin stuff, I'm like, I need to be involved somehow, So.
Well, he got in touch. He said, you got to meet Conor Okus. And I Googled you. I'm like, what? West Ham? All right.
Yeah.
Having himself. And then, was it me and Conor met you and... We met you down in London?
Yeah. So we went for before the Tottenham vs Liverpool game. I came with my friend Abs. We just sat down, had a coffee in Edmonton. Yeah. Good old Edmonton. And just discussing football, your plans, like how we can help.
You got it from the start, right?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, and you're the only player who played for us who's got paid in Bitcoin.
I know, right? So I go down in history.
Yeah, so
to some degree, right? So
people are like, are the players getting paid in Bitcoin? I'm like, they don't give a fuck about Bitcoin. That's not true actually now.
But they should though.
I know that.
We need to sit them down and be like, lads,
90
even
years.
if it's a 10%, 20% of like, start thinking about it. Yeah.
90 asked me about it.
Okay.
Yeah, 90's buying Bitcoin, and I think he's buying some shitcoins as well. But a couple of them asked, what we're going to do this year? We're gonna do the tipping during a game.
Okay. Yeah.
So if a player scores, I mean, it favors the goal scorers.
Yeah.
Or man of the match, but we're going to flash up QR codes and tip the players. I think that's going to be cool.
Oh, that'd be amazing. Yeah.
I think when I first announced it, nobody got it. I think some people like football kind of get it, but I still think a lot of people like, right now there'll be people listening going, what the fuck are you talking about football for? Talk about Bitcoin. I don't think they fully, they don't grok what we're trying to do here. How would you explain it to a Bitcoiner who doesn't give a shit about football?
No, to be honest, like the Bitcoin is very much secondary to what you're trying to do anyway. Like when you come down to the club, if you're not a Bitcoin or into Bitcoin, you probably wouldn't even really notice that there's a lot of Bitcoin initiatives underpinning what the football club are doing. So from that perspective, it's just a grassroots football club trying to do the right things, grow the community, move up the leagues in a sustainable fashion. It just so happens that Bitcoin is being used in a number of different ways, from like a treasury reserve asset to helping the community understand how they can accept Bitcoin, to educational efforts. So Bitcoin represents like a secondary part of the football club. It is a football club first and foremost.
Absolutely.
And that's what you're trying to do, right? But some big people in the Bitcoin space who can help with sponsorships and help get the word out, and kind of leveraging the fact that Bitcoin is a grassroots movement. The the club you've acquired so happens to be at the, you know, the very grassroots of football. The two are kind of merging. You get to leverage this kind of worldwide fan base as well. I know you mentioned it a few times as well, how you could kind of compare it to like the El Salvador and it being like very much an underdog as well. So
yeah,
Bitcoiners are kind of attracted to the story of Royal Bedford as well.
Yeah, what I've said to people is like, yeah, when people are like, oh, I want to do something with Bitcoin, I want to get into Bitcoin, it's like, bring it into what you know, do or know.
Yeah.
You know, Michael Peterson brought it into a community in El Salvador where he was trying to help kids. He was on a mission.
Yeah.
He's trying to help kids get away from gangs. He brought Bitcoin into that. In Austin, they've created the Bitcoin Commons for local business to use it. Perth Heat, they brought it into their baseball team.
Oh, yeah.
I brought it into a football team. Someone can do a rugby team. You can find a young swimmer. You can sponsor them. You can bring Bitcoin into anything you're doing and just make it part of it. But what I think always happens is like if you bring Bitcoin into what you do, every 4 years, you have a competitive advantage in everyone else. You just have that thing that clicks through.
Yeah.
Plus, it's also a hack.
Yeah.
You have this global community to tap into. I got all the people who like football who like Bitcoin. They're like, Real Bedford, that's my team.
Literally. And just culturally as well. I mean, like if you can go to a game and you can pay for your beer in Bitcoin or pay for your tea in Bitcoin, it's a way of introducing people to Bitcoin without forcing it down their throats.
Yeah.
So when you start seeing music merge with Bitcoin, sports merge with Bitcoin, all of these different avenues, it kind of just becomes part of the norm slowly but surely, and people don't really realize it. And in 10 years, 15 years, of course, like when I'm traveling from El Salvador to Bedford to watch a game, I don't need British pounds. I just, you know,
with my Bitcoin.
Top up with my Bitcoin, go to watch a game, buy a tea, beer, whatever, and it's just normal, you know? So.
Yeah, I think a lot of people actually think we're going to get in the Premier League. I think they're convinced. Like, so
I don't realize how tough it is.
No.
Do you know what? I'm watching like Man City and thinking, football's kicked on as well, man. Like you really need a lot of money to compete at the highest of levels now. And whether or not we'll have that war chest come 15, 20 years from now, like hopefully Bitcoin does what we think it might do price-wise, and that represents like a hefty sum of money to spend on players, stadiums, all that kind of good stuff. But yeah, football is... need a lot of money to compete at the highest level now.
Yeah, but...
maybe not even the highest level. Even look at Wrexham. I was watching Wrexham the other day. I'm like...
well, their wage bill must have been 2.5, 3 million quid.
I'm like, oh, this is Conference League football. When I was playing football like 10 years ago, like conference was seen as like, if you was playing in a conference, you was on like a couple £100 a week. Now players are getting a couple grand a week to play 4th, 5th tier English football.
Hold on, isn't Mullin on like 8-10 grand a week or something?
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, but also I think they'll go straight up again.
Yeah,
because I think League Two is kind of a dip down. The top of League Two is not as competitive as the top of the conference.
No. Yeah, you see a lot of teams getting back-to-back promotions that do Conference League 2. Even League 1 it starts getting, but it can be done. But League 1 onwards, it starts getting a bit more difficult, I think.
I think Wrexham will be in the Premier League within a decade. If they stay interested and keep pushing it, they've got the local support. They can build out the stadium.
Yeah,
they've got commercial interest that was driving forward. I think they can do it. I think of us as the small version of them. Our competitive advantage is whatever's in our treasury, every 4 years, it might do a 5x.
Yeah.
You know, so say we had $1 million in there, it could be 5 million, then 25 million and so on.
Yeah.
And so like in 20 years, maybe we are in the Football League trying to get in the championship.
Yeah.
We could be in a better financial position than them, but we also have this global community. So
yeah. How are you managing trying to like, even just the financial side, just to make sure the club stays sensible and doesn't, you know, overdo it on the finance side? Because even a couple of leagues above where we're at, clubs are paying players silly money. Like, how are you thinking about managing?
You just have a budget.
Yeah.
I've written the budget. Yeah. My goal every year is to have, it's not necessarily to have the biggest budget, but just to have a budget that can put you in contention for promotion.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we've got to be able to have a go. I don't want to sit around and it might change. We might, if we get step 3 or step 2, it might be like, well, hold on a second.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've got to breathe for a bit and breathe for a year or two.
Yeah.
But momentum is super important. Building this story is super important. Engaging with sponsors is super important. But it's just a business, Conor. It's like, okay, all the successful clubs out there who haven't just got a chairman throwing money in, how do they do it? they're a well-run business.
Yeah.
So they have big crowds.
Yeah.
They have good sponsors, and then they have revenue lines outside of the club. So, for example, I'm thinking ahead, and I'm thinking what I need an academy. I need 3G pitches for the players to train on, and then that can be rented out. I need youth football and parents coming along. I need a gym that I can have
online media presence, streaming.
Online media, yeah. But I think sponsoring us now. So if you look at the teams you can sponsor in the non-league, I think we're, in terms of awareness, forget Wrexham, but I would say we're comparable to most non-league teams, if not more. I mean,
in terms of awareness,
I think in terms of awareness, look at like a Bournemouth. Right?
Okay.
They're known in England, right? But outside of the playoffs,
okay.
outside of the playoffs, who's paying attention to them? They get a bit of attention because Arsenal ladies play there, and they're a great run club. I use them as an example because I look at them as where I want to be.
Okay.
But I also think, well, if you sponsor us, we've got this whole awareness with a whole other community. We've got the BBC writing about us. So any other team in step 5, 4, 3, we're a way better prospect to sponsor.
Yeah.
So we've got
arguably like hashtag as well, though.
Hashtag's another one. Yeah, actually, and they've done a good job.
Yeah.
And
are they the fan token NFT club?
No, that's Cordy Town.
No.
Oh,
That's we'll talk about them. This is the perfect Bitcoin v shitcoin. No, hashtag is, what's his name? Spencer. Yeah, he's like a huge, super successful YouTuber.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Started this team hashtag. They're doing well. I mean, did they just win step 4? I think
They did.
And they smashed it. They've gone up to step 3.
And they started off as a online gaming team, I believe.
Yeah.
So they don't have a physical location. And from what I understand, they chose somewhere in North London as their home ground.
Yeah.
I forget the name of the club now. Haringey Borough as their home ground. So I think they've even got like a bit of flexibility to change where their home location is and stuff like that.
So that's I talked to Spencer about this. I think that's their only downside is you see their name, you go, well, where are you?
Yeah, exactly.
We're Bedford. People know we're Bedford. It's people have a place to go. Yeah, they have a location to wear and a thing to get behind. But what they have that other people don't, wherever they go for an away game, all the people who like hashtag or like Spencer or like their e-gamer platform come and watch them. We had their ladies play, our ladies in the FA Cup. Okay. We had a bunch of these e-gaming nerds could turn up and their hashtag tops. They love it.
That's very cool.
Yes, but there is this new wave of teams that are doing a bit different, like us, them.
There's even Sunday League teams that I've got a following now, man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you've heard of Beatty's squad. They're like a Sunday team, and they won like the Sunday League version of the FA Cup. And they've got like hundreds of thousands of followers on YouTube and stuff. It reminds me of like when I was young and I used to watch Rentford Rejects. I don't know if you've ever seen
that. Yeah.
Rentford Rejects.
It was like a kids' TV show.
On Nickelodeon. Rentford Rejects was like this 5-a-side team that were like so many different characters, and they just used to go around playing Sunday football. But they've got some really good players that they take from non-league and they play Sunday football, and it's more of it's almost like reality TV football in a way. So it's more on the entertainment side. But there are so many different avenues now that football's going in. And
Dorking have done it well with their,
what's
what's the name of their YouTube? Bunch of something or others?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't know the name though,
They've had the most promotions of any team. They started at the bottom of Sunday League, went all the way up through Sunday League, Saturday League, and now they're in the conference.
That's very cool.
The chairman the chairman is the manager. It's been all the way through. He's kind of funny.
Yeah.
I think the Jersey Devils, or what they call Jersey something, have done well. But the truth is, if there is a hack now. If you create a team around an idea rather than a town, you can be more competitive. And I think some teams are going to struggle.
But uniquely, maybe in England, Europe, like I've watched a couple of games here in the States, and I don't know, it's a different vibe. Like my friend Paco Craig, he's the captain of Miami FC, so I went to watch him and versus Inter Miami in their like version of the FA Cup, I guess. One, like the atmosphere is just not the same. To the standard of football isn't as good as I thought it would be. I actually thought the MLS has come on a lot more than it has. Maybe it was just those two teams.
Do you know why that is? Because whenever you saw the MLS, you saw highlights, and they've got some amazing players, and you'll see Ibrahimovic do something incredible, or a Rooney, and you're like, I think it's like an 11-a-side version of 5-a-side.
Yeah, it's just a completely, like, they don't have relegation, promotion, like the whole franchise system. I don't know, the knock-on effects it has for the quality of the football, how fans actually, patronize their teams and stuff. It's just a completely different vibe, So I'm thankful for what we have back home,
Yeah, it's but like, it's a great opportunity, and I think, you said how we're going to manage the money. We're trying to be sustainable, but we're running it like a startup. We're over invested. We've got to spend 280,000 this summer. We've got to put in new floodlights, new perimeter defense, 2 new stands.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of stuff we do. It's expensive.
Yeah.
And if we didn't have the backing of the Bitcoin community and sponsors, we wouldn't be able to get promoted because we wouldn't get our ground grading. It's a lot of pressure. The ladies, I can tell you this because this is going to come out for a while. So Bedford girls and ladies are going to become Real Bedford ladies next season.
Oh, awesome.
So we've got 250 girls and ladies playing under the Real Bedford brand next season. So that's going to be cool.
Nice.
And we need to do the same on boys football. But no, I think we've just got to build the revenue and make sure we don't overspend, leave some money in the bank if things get tough, and just keep telling that story and build a community in Bedford. And I think we've had a good first year.
When Real Bedford versus El Salvador national team, but that's what I want to know. Well, that would be a vibe.
They would kick I think they're kicking our ass right now. Like they're pros. I don't know what level that would be. Would a championship side give them a good game, or a League One side?
Yeah, I reckon Championship League One. Yeah.
Yeah, so we can't not go without mentioning Crawley Town, because that's who you asked about. So that's the shitcoin team.
But that's the difference between...
wasn't it Barnsley?
No, it's Crawley. No, Barnsley nearly took the Hex sponsorship. And then everyone went mental at them and they stopped it.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
No, Crawley Town was essentially bought by a shitcoin version of, like, me. He's this guy's made all his money on NFTs. He said he's going to get them in the Premier League. He said the same stuff, right? Yeah. But the difference was he forced the crypto down their throats. Like, all we do is have a meetup. You can come if you want, and that's it. Yeah. He was like selling NFTs to the fans, which obviously didn't make any money. Crazy. Yeah, he didn't know what he was doing. He kept sacking managers. Then he went in the dugout and was in the dugout. Yeah, so you can't do that shit.
No.
They just avoided relegation. Did they finish third from bottom?
I'm not sure. But that's the difference between a grift and just community movement, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're not asking for anything from anyone.
Yeah.
No. It's just come along and support the club.
Yeah, he's an American coming into English football,
so he doesn't get the culture around football. Yeah.
And I didn't get the culture non-league, by the way. I didn't understand it until this.
What's been the biggest surprise though?
Biggest surprise? That's a good question.
What did you think it was? I guess.
Well, I didn't realize how much you need volunteers to support it.
Okay,
it's a really important part of it.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much the next door neighbors would see us as a rivalry and shit they would give us.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't realize how much pressure it would be once it gets going. I mean, at one point we're 12 points clear, and I'm but if we lose that and they win that, it's we could fuck this up.
Yeah.
It's like winning leagues is. Have you won a league?
No.
It's hard.
It's hard, man.
It's really, really hard. And hard. People talk about the money we've spent. Do
you know why it's hard at non-league as well? Because the players are part-time.
Yeah.
So for anyone who doesn't know, non-league footballers typically have a full-time job and they'll be playing football on the side or part-time. So they'll train twice a week, sometimes once a week, and have a game on a Saturday or a Tuesday. So some, at our level, a lot of players are not actually paid. And so as a manager or a coach, if someone says they've got to go to work on a Tuesday night because that's how they feed their family, you can't tell them, no, you need to come and play for me. And so as a manager at that level, you've got to deal with managing players' work commitments, kids, and all of that kind of stuff, you know, if you're not paying them significant amounts to offset the money they'd make working, for example.
And sometimes they miss because there's a wedding. They go to a wedding.
Yeah.
You're not at that level. They can go, can't.
Because the players typically are not on contracts.
Yeah.
It's it's a non-contract basis. So if someone says, I'm going on holiday, as a manager, you're kind of like...
Well, that's where all the credit goes to Rob Sinclair, the manager. He got them down and said, this is the goal.
Yeah.
And we had just this relentless approach to winning, doing everything right. Yeah. Everything behind the scenes we did. We tried to do it, the website, the season tickets, the refreshments for the players. Every single thing we did, we tried to do the best we can, the programs. And it was a lot of work. And, we go again now.
I guess as well, seeing the non-league and seeing how in certain instances is so non-professional. It's like there's so much room for us to like set a standard of how things should be done as well.
Well, I think that's what bothers the neighbours, Bedford town. Like some people there, oh God, they won't be listening to this. I hope not. Maybe that Mark Stevenson will be stalks me, but is that they've had a monopoly on football in Bedford for a long time because they're the bigger team.
Yeah,
they've got the crowds and they've done a great job. But we've come in with a new plan that's different from theirs.
Yeah.
It's more competitive, and so it's a threat to them. But the truth is, we're doing things that, like, even if they fucking hate us, they can at least go, wow, they're good at their marketing, they're good at their branding. What they've done with women's football is great. Yeah, like you have to at least appreciate what we're trying to do, and it's going to suck for them.
Bringing people to Bedford who have really no reason to come to Bedford. To be honest, was it late last year or maybe early this year? We had people from like Czechoslovakia.
Slovakia. We had 12 guys flying from Slovakia
to come and watch a Bedford game. I mean, I don't know if that's happened before, I'll be honest.
I doubt it. I'm not sure. But last game, we had a handful from the US. We had probably 15 to 20 people who flew in for that game. Maybe more, but they're staying at the local hotels.
Yeah.
They're spending money in the local shops. It's good for Bedford. And Bedford is like a micro version of Wrexham. Wrexham is on the global map now. This little Welsh town, well, not little, but this Welsh town, which, it's been through its tough times, both with the football and the economy, is on the map. They have Hollywood stars coming to Wrexham to watch football matches. It's great for them. We are like a micro version of that. We have, I don't want to say Bitcoin stars, but you know what I mean? We have Bitcoiners coming to Bedford, spending money. Bedford's on the map. And so what my biggest surprise is, God, this might get me in trouble, how hard the football authorities make things for people unnecessarily difficult.
A lot of bureaucracy. This kind of old school mentality.
This is the way it's always been done.
Yeah.
I don't care. The administration of the systems, that's been a surprise. And we've felt a pushback against us. Like we stream the games. Well, they had to have
because it's a bit more flashy, especially at this level.
Yeah.
Like what is it, step 6?
It was
step 6, step 5.
Yeah.
Next year.
But streaming the games, they had to have a whole new set of policies written for streaming the games.
Oh, really?
They got there. That was surprising, and also actually how hostile other clubs are to you. They're really hostile. Like we're nice, we treat people well, but they're hostile towards us.
Yeah.
Unnecessarily.
It just makes winning that more sweeter, I guess, sometimes, doesn't it? So.
There were a couple of results this year that were pretty sweet. But no, man, listen, I fucking love it. I love it. The people are probably thinking, why I'm talking to you about football. You should give you a background. How did you go from like professional footballer to massive nerd?
That's a good question, man. So I've always played football from the age of like 8. I joined West Ham United. Was my local team in East London. I used to live next to the training ground, actually. My friend knocked for me one time. He was the son of the manager of the local football team called Lakeview. And one day he was just like, do you want to come out and play out? And we just used to, play football in the streets and stuff like that. And I played for the local Sunday team, his dad was the manager. And I got scouted by West Ham by playing for that team. And I used to live literally like next door to West Ham's training ground in Chadwell Heath. So played for West Ham from the age of 8 to 18, 19. Got let go, got released.
Did you get any first team games?
No, but I was training with the first team at 16.
Really?
And
who were you training
so this is when Gianfranco Zola was the manager. And this was the era period of...
Hold on, for anyone listening who doesn't know, Gianfranco Zola's a fucking legend of football, Chelsea legend.
Yeah, he would play in training and be the best player. Because at the time, he was still in his early 40s. He could move. He was the best player in training, no joke. But I was training with the first team at 16. And at 16, I didn't know how big a deal that was because that was the era of Carlos Tevez, Javier Mascherano.
You were trading with Tevez?
Yeah. So it's kind of like, at the time, I didn't know how much of a big deal it was though. And I didn't have the mentality required to push on. And what I mean by that is I'm a 16-year-old like thinking, I'm training with the first team. Like, but you need to go in there as a 16-year-old like, I'm training with the first team and I'm going to take Carlos Tevez's place. But I wasn't thinking. I was just kind of like, I'm happy to be here. I must be doing okay. I wasn't like some of my peers who are kind of at my age group, like a I like to big him up, John Joe Shelby. He's kind of got that mentality where it's like at 16, he was playing in Charlton's first team and it's like, I'm the man at 16. And not every player can have that at 16, 17. I didn't necessarily have that. Maybe, going on later in my career, I would have developed that. But at the time, I was there based on because how good I was skill-wise.
Yeah.
Like I was the best player in my team. So, and they saw a lot of potential in me skill-wise. But at the time, I didn't necessarily realize the kind of grit and kind of selfless determination that you need if you want to play in that environment. Because these lads are in, mature men. They see a 16-year-old, they're going to kick you and lift you up in the air. They don't care. Like you're on the same level playing field as them and they're not going to let a 16, 17-year-old take their place. So admittedly, going into the first team at like 16 wasn't a very welcoming experience. And, I don't know, maybe some clubs, they welcome their youngsters a bit better. West Ham wasn't like that. We were fighting relegation, like the mood in the training grounds, not, very lively. So perhaps that was part of it. But yeah, got let go, went to play for Dagenham and Redbridge in League One, which is a League One side, completely changed my outlook on football. Like the style of football is completely different.
Yeah.
Like John Still, channel football, kick the ball down the channel. It's almost like playing a different sport. It's like playing rugby. I'm a central midfielder, so I'm doing that most of the game. Before joining Dagenham and Redbridge, I didn't even know what a channel ball was. I didn't even know what it was because I come from West Ham where we're playing tippy-tappy football, Zola, like everyone. So we had that heritage of playing good football. When you go down the leagues, back then, the standard of football goes down. But nowadays,
it's changed. They're playing now.
People in League One and League Two want to play like how Man City are playing. Keeper gets it out from the back, plays the right back, like it's completely different now. But back then, no, it was channel, get on the second ball, try and score a goal.
How many years were you at Dagenham?
2 years.
And were you a regular?
No, I was kind of like in and out, like reserves. So I wasn't a regular there.
Any big games though? Big cup games?
One FA Cup game against I forget now, Newbury something. I forget. It was an FA Cup game, but I forget who it was. But yeah, didn't get much first team football there either.
Score any bangers?
Nah, I didn't score any bangers, nah. But I played with a lot of good players like Dwight Gale, who was at Newcastle. I think he's at Stoke now. Played with a lot of good players. And kind of just fell out of love with it, if I'm honest. It was a combination of like injuries and fell out of love with it. And this was in my early 20s. Shout out to my parents. They made me study A-levels while I was actually playing as well. So I had the grades to go to university. I kind of self-taught myself English language, psychology and economics very randomly. Yeah. So I had that to fall back on. And I went to university at Goldsmiths University of London, studied computer science, and the rest was history. I went to uni to study something practical. I thought I didn't want to, no disrespect to these degrees or nothing, but I didn't want to like study art or history or anything like that. I wanted something where it was kind of hands-on and looking into the future.
What did you do? Computer science?
So I did computer science. Right. And then when I finished my degree, spent a few years working as a software engineer and then, found my way into Bitcoin. So
how did that happen?
2017, one of my colleagues was just like, you need to buy some Bitcoin. It was bull market, came for the money, stayed for the technology and all that good stuff. So that's pretty much how it happened for me. I think because I had the technology background, I was like, I'm going to go and learn a bit more about Bitcoin, watched a lot of Andreas Antonopoulos videos, read his content. So I come from that school of Bitcoiner, like I can imagine the new people coming into Bitcoin, they've got very different voices telling them what Bitcoin is. Yeah. Whereas back then for me, like Andreas was very pivotal in my learning about what Bitcoin was, both from a political, financial, geographical, social, political, technological point of view. So I actually had like a very rounded view of Bitcoin, whereas perhaps some people coming in now, it's purely price, number go up. Yeah. I don't know, maybe that's not a fair criticism.
Well, I think some people coming in now don't know who Andreas Antonopoulos is. And like
which is crazy.
Yeah, he was like fundamental to all of us. You watch that whatever first Andreas video is, you watch, you're like, wow, who the fuck's this guy? And then you go to another one and another one. And, I've had the pleasure of being able to sit down with him in person, not even on interviews. Like I remember I think it was in Uruguay with him. Was I in Uruguay with him? We just sat down and we talked. And not just about Bitcoin, but about handling online comments, things like that. And I think he's amazing. I miss him so much being a prominent vocal person in Bitcoin.
Yeah. I mean, it's good to have, new characters, new voices, new narratives come in the space for sure. But he's definitely one of the most well-rounded Bitcoiners in terms of education, because he does the deep dive on the technology as well and can help you get started if you're someone who wants to purely focus on the tech as well. So, definitely miss his active presence. I know he's still doing stuff.
He does his Patreon stuff.
Yeah, he does his Patreon stuff, and I guess he's a bit less in the public eye for whatever reason. But yeah, if you don't know about Andreas, then I don't know, man. You've been sleeping. You need to go back and do some studying, some homework.
Get on fucking YouTube and Google him. And
100%.
Okay, so you end up at Spiral.
Yeah, so 2020 was the year I was like working, as a software engineer in a corporate environment or a startup, and I want to get into Bitcoin somehow. So I volunteered at Advancing Bitcoin, which is a conference in London. Leon Johnson organizes that. He does a great job with that.
Yeah, he does.
So I just volunteered, asked, do you need any help with that? That was beginning of 2020, right before like the pandemic hit and stuff. And then summer of 2020, I was given opportunity to have a grant from Square Crypto at the time, or Spiral now, to work on some open source Bitcoin projects. So everything from Bitcoin design, which we can talk a little bit about in a minute, some developer libraries to improve developer experience, some educational stuff with Hello Bitcoin. And that was 6 months. Steve Lee reached out to me to get that done. And then after 6 months, I was given the opportunity to join the Square Crypto Spiral team full time. So now I manage the grant program that I was a recipient of during that period. So I've seen it from both sides. So always kind of on the lookout for talented people who want to work on free open source Bitcoin projects. So currently, I think we've got about 36 active developers, designers, PMs, all working on free open source Bitcoin projects from all over the world, geographically dispersed. Working on everything from Lightning infrastructure to security to privacy stuff, all mainly based around non-custodial stuff as well. So,
how do you choose who to fund? Do you internally have certain areas you think need focus, or do you just look at every application independently?
Yeah, no, we definitely look at every application independently, but we're predominantly looking at things that improve decentralization, improve privacy, security, user experience, scalability, that kind of stuff. So we have a full-time team focused on the Lightning Development Kit, which is like a kit to help improve non-custodial Lightning adoption. We have some PMs as well. But yeah, we look at each application independent. We review it. I'll review it. Steve will review it. The wider team will review it sometimes as well. And if it kind of meets our criteria and has some level of consensus among the community as well, we'll give that person kind of no strings attached funding to work on their project for a year, 12 months initially.
Do you monitor them, or you just say, here's your money, see you later?
We loosely monitor them. All the work is open source, right? So most of the work is being conducted on GitHub. So we can kind of monitor what's going on GitHub, but we don't require them to report into us every week or bi-weekly or quarterly or anything like that. The people that do the grants are typically quite self-motivated to manage themselves, work at the intensity they want to, work geographically from where they want to. They have flexibility there as well. So no, we're not into the business of micromanaging people, especially when we've got 36, 37 people doing lots of different stuff. So
it's so mad that this software is able to be developed globally through a decentralized group of people who just say, I want to work on this bit, I want to work on that bit.
Yeah.
And how it all, I still don't even understand how it all coordinates, who checks. Is it led from the core at the top and they're kind of creating
it?
Because the reason why I'm getting to it is if this was a company,
you
would have reporting lines, you'd have procedures, everyone would know it. How does that work in a decentralized way?
Yeah, how do you get that kind of order amongst chaos? It's a really good question. So I think the people need to understand as well, the Bitcoin development technology ecosystem is very wide. So Bitcoin Core, obviously the most important software in Bitcoin, but you also have infrastructure-based projects. You also have wallets. You also have software development kits. And these are all very important projects as well. Typically, a lot of these projects will have like lead maintainers who have been working on the project for some period of time. So for example, the Lightning development kit was initially started by Matt Corallo. I think he was
on here the other day.
Yeah, he was on here the other day. He started that as Rust Lightning. So he's got, and he's been working on Bitcoin basically forever. And he has, a lot of Bitcoin expertise, a lot of Lightning expertise. So he's someone that people look up to in the project. And is the same for other types of projects like the Bitcoin development kit, which is like a sister project to LDK. But typically developers have an idea of like what specific contribution they want to make. And, if it happens to align with the direction the community's going, that community specifically and the wider Bitcoin community, then there isn't usually much challenge to getting, that contribution merged in or part of the next feature set for a release. So there is though definitely a need for like active project management as well. I have spoken to a lot of developers and they have found themselves like working in a silo, because although you're like, geographically dispersed all over the world, you don't have an office to go into, like you say, like a manager to tell you we're doing X, Y, and Z and notify you of how someone else's work might affect your work. You're kind of like working in a silo to some degree. So there's definitely room and space for a PM. Like we kind of regard ourselves as decentralized PMs in a way, and we kind of do some of that overseeing of the project in its entirety and kind of like help tie everything together. But we can only do that by way of persuasion because we're no one's actual manager, so.
Is the developer community growing? Are we getting more devs coming in? And we got enough coming in? Or is it never enough?
No, there's never enough. There's never enough. But the trajectory is definitely up and to the right, especially now. The stuff we find like the Bitcoin development kit, the Lightning development kit that gives you the tools and makes it easier to build on Bitcoin now in whatever language you come into. So yeah, it's definitely a positive direction, 100%. And that's really exciting to see. Like, you guys should definitely try and stay abreast of like new wallets that are coming out, like the Fedi wallet that's come out, and the Mutiny team just released.
I heard that today.
A wallet in the browser, which is fantastic because it's a superior onboarding experience, privacy preserving, doesn't require any KYC, doesn't require an app store to download the application or anything as well. So all of these innovations are only made possible by some of the tooling that's being built, So
are you still coding?
I code in non-production capacity. So I code like demos. So if you're a developer and you just want to get started with BEDK or LDK, then I can write a demo to show you how to get introduced to the SDK. But I'm nowhere good enough now to write like production level code or anything like that. But I don't know if you've seen it, but I do have a YouTube channel called Bitcoin Developers where I sit with developers and live stream and we code, and we will code up a wallet or a feature of a wallet. It's only at 800 subscribers now, so I need to shill it a little bit. But
you're such a fucking nerd.
I need to shill it a little bit.
How can you be so cool and such a nerd at the same time?
I don't know, man. I think people surprised me, but I don't know. I come from...
Shit, where are we sending people?
Bitcoin Developers. That's what it's called on
Conor,
YouTube.
you should go check
I've done well to get that name, to be fair.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and grow it. Because you should be able to go on YouTube and type in how to build a Bitcoin wallet and you should see hundreds of videos on how to do it.
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Yeah. It's the Mutiny thing came up this morning and I was trying to check it out. By the way, cool name, Mutiny. I love it. Okay, let's talk about scaling. So ordinals, we don't need to get into the yay or nays. I think whatever, it's here to stay, so forget about it. Unless someone writes a bip and gets rid of it. But we did notice that has highlighted, firstly, some bugs. Matt Corallo talked about it, but some limitations with Lightning. How do you feel about that?
My kind of grand take is that like Lightning only scales an order of magnitude above on-chain Bitcoin currently. As it currently stands, there are a lot of challenges around Lightning, around like if you want to have a smooth experience for the average user around onboarding because of like the channel management requirements around inbound liquidity and all of this kind of stuff. Managing your Lightning keys securely, receiving payments offline in an async fashion. And all of these things are being actively worked on, and there are solutions to them. But again, Lightning only scales the order of magnitude above on-chain, and currently maybe Lightning acts as a supplementary technology to other stuff such as Fedimint, some other layer 2 scaling solution that comes along. So I don't think Lightning was ever the scaling solution, be all and end all, but represents one of many scaling solutions that we're going to have to do anyway. So.
Yeah, maybe you'll be the best person to ask this question too. So when the fees,
probably not.
No, I reckon you got this one. So when the fees go really high, and people start criticizing it, one of the answers is, yeah, but Lightning, the fees are low. And I keep trying to imagine a scenario a couple of decades down the line where there's consistently high fees and some people get priced out at the base chain. It is a potential. If you had consistently $100 fees, most people aren't going to be using that.
Yeah.
And I know people can get onto Lightning without having, without being part of a channel. They can use somebody else's channel and all that. But my understanding is you can't really then be self-sovereign because you're reliant on the channel that somebody else has created. Is that true?
Well, no. So it depends. So we also have the concept of like a Lightning service provider now. I don't know if you're familiar with that. And like the companies like Voltage, and there's an open source LSP spec as well, like that C-Equal are doing. Because right now, if you want to open a channel, you have the liquidity requirement, and if you want to be able to receive, you basically have to push a payment before you can receive one. So that infrastructure is being put in place to be able to allow like an average person who doesn't want to do any channel management via like a zero confirmation inbound channel and be able to receive directly and have the liquidity initially tied up at the LSP end. But if you are able to have the Lightning node running on a mobile phone and the keys managed by the individual, it's basically where the keys lie, essentially. So as long as you have an environment where either a user's running their own Lightning node via like these Umbro like Raspberry Blitz, or the nodes running on the phone, as long as the user has access to the keys, I don't see a huge problem. And the application allows them to obviously close out, then I don't see a huge problem with it.
All right, let's talk about Fedi, our boy Obi.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Obi. Took me a while to get my head around it. Yeah. First time I heard about it, I was like, huh? But that's, I'm not holding my private keys. And it's like, yeah, but you trust people in the community. It's like, we've just been told we can't trust Ledger. You know, we can't trust them distributing keys with 3 disparate companies. But at the same time, with Fedi, we say, well, trust 3 guys in your local community. They're different risk factors. Yeah. But we are trusting people. And I was like, I don't get this. But now I'm starting to hear better examples and I do get it. So for example,
I listened to your podcast over there. It was amazing.
So we're going to do our conference.
Festivals.
Well, we're going to do our conference in Bedford next April.
Okay.
Hopefully 800 to 1,000 people.
Okay.
We're like, we'll just make it so we'll just create our own mint there. Our own, I don't know what you call it. Do you call it a mint?
Federation.
Yeah, we'll call it our own federation there. Maybe me and Danny will have the keys. We'll fucking rug you all. No, so we'll create it, and then everyone can just privately transact to that whole event. We can keep it completely private. And I was like, that makes sense now. I get that. It's like when you go to a festival and you buy beer tokens and you go and grab your beers. You're essentially buying your eCash tokens to. Yeah. So I get that. I like that. Are you a fan of Fedi? Yeah.
So Spiral funds 3 developers working on the Fedimint protocol at the minute. It's definitely just from a perspective of I know Obi talks a lot about like the global south and like the mentality and the capabilities and like the resources people have over there. It definitely seems like it's from a scaling perspective, it can scale pretty much like infinitely. And I like the idea of like the kind of community banking style of doing things as well. I just downloaded the Fedi app the other day, and the Fedi app is just, I guess, going to be one client of the Fedimint protocol. Like I'm sure we're going to see many more iterations on top of it.
Is it live or is it a test flight?
So it's in Signet actually. So I think he's kind of they're kind of pushing it more towards like developers and builders. But you can like get some test coins from Signet and play around with it. It's got an in-app chat feature as well. So it looks like it's taking some similar feature sets from like a WeChat and stuff like that, which seems promising. But that community is growing as well. They've got a lot of design-focused efforts as well to make the UX really strong around it as well.
We desperately need that.
Yeah. So are you familiar? We'll finish this and maybe we'll talk about the Bitcoin design community as well, because I think you should get some designers on actually.
I'd love to.
But yeah, so the UX is going to be fantastic there. I can't say anything much about Fedi.
But you guys are fully backing it.
Yeah, we're big fans of Fedi.
Yeah, like I say, I didn't get it at first.
Yeah, because you had a few issues trying to get around like the eCash.
Yeah, well, the first thing is like eCash. I was like, what is this eCash? I was like, oh, that's just Bitcoin.
Yeah.
It's a Bitcoin IOU.
Yeah.
But when I was like, you get these eCash tokens, and the funny thing was, it's like you listen to me like get it live in the show, and then we had a whole bunch of people who were like email us and say, "Oh, I get it as well now. I didn't get it. Like, what is it? You get these eCash tokens? No one really
when you get a chance, when you get a chance, download it. You'll be like, oh, okay.
Oh, what's Signet? How do I do that?
No, you don't have to do anything. You just go on the website, iPhone, download, and that's it. And you can go to. You've used like a faucet before, right? To like get yeah. So you just go onto the faucet, paste your Lightning address. It will send you some coins, and you can start playing around. It's pretty impressive.
So funny. There used to be faucets where you could just go and get like
50 Bitcoin.
Yeah, 50 Bitcoin. Yeah, 50 Bitcoin.
Yeah. Now you can't even get like testnet Bitcoin. You can't even. So yeah,
definitely can't afford to buy 50 Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about design. We'll finish off in design.
Okay.
Historically lacked, always lagged the tech side of things.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Don't even need to have a thesis of why, but it did. I have seen improvements. Things are definitely getting better.
Yeah.
What's been your approach at Spiral towards design?
Yeah. So I think initially the Spiral team wanted to hire like an in-house designer. But we came to the conclusion that it'd probably be more impactful to create a design community. So if people are interested in finding out more, they can go to bitcoin.design. And this is a community of primarily designers, artists, some creatives who are trying to tackle many of the UX challenges and problems we see in Bitcoin. And the kind of flagship project there is something called the Bitcoin Design Guide, which gives developers, product teams, the tools they need to build quality user experiences within Bitcoin. So it tackle everything from like how to kind of display fee management for channel management, to self-custody solutions, to multi-sig. Like it's all really covered in the guide, and all of the principles and all that kind of stuff is really good. So yeah, the community there is kind of is very active. I know you're like a design and UX man as well, so you should definitely get some designers on to tell their story about because open source design as well is actually quite a new concept as well. Like designers are typically want to kind of be in their corner and like are a bit maybe shy or reserved about getting feedback on their creations and stuff. So Bitcoin is actually leading the way in terms of open source design efforts as well. And we're seeing a lot of collaboration between the designers and the open source projects as well, whether it be Zeus Wallet working with a designer in the community, or Fedimint, or we've had some desktop wallets in the past, like Spectre work with designers. So they also play the role of helping developers tell the story of new technological innovations. So over the past year, we've had stuff like unified QR code. So the challenge of hiding Lightning from users. Lightning should just be like a technology that people don't really know about. Instead of maybe having this Bitcoin and Lightning tab, should I use Bitcoin? Should I use Lightning? Fees are high here. Fees are also high. Like, what do I do as an average user? Whereas we can kind of, the design space has come in and said, no, well, we can kind of unify that using the BIP21 standard. And here is how, this UX kind of is a lot better for people. So they can help in those regards, and they can help tell the story of new technological solutions as well. So if a new privacy preserving protocol's on its way in, like PageRank or something, how do you actually tell people about it? Like, you know, create a nice website around it, create a narrative around it, help people understand. So they play that role as well.
It's so important.
Yeah.
I remember the first multi-sig wallet I was shown was using Caravan.
Oh, okay.
And I was like,
Unchained, I think that is.
Yeah, and I was being walked through it with it's Phil Geiger, wasn't it? American Horror. I was like, what the fuck is this? They're like, no, you put this here and you copy. I was like, guys, this doesn't work.
Then they had a 2 of 3 multi-sig for a bet. Pete won the bet but lost his keys, so he couldn't sign.
I lost my fucking keys because of bad design. But I recently just signed up with the Unchained Vault. They're a sponsor now, and so they onboarded me. Said you got to see it, and it's fucking brilliant. It's so easy to use, and that's where you can compare the two and go, all right, here's a developer at home on their own creating something, or a couple of developers. Yeah. Here's a company who've approached it thinking about the end consumer, and they've got the UX right. And so you really see those differences. But for a long time, Bitcoin stuff was really hard to use, and like, it's hard to grok Bitcoin.
Yeah, it really is. And I think, when we can get to the stage where, like, you know, the average person can just download a wallet, be easily onboarded, not have to worry about channel management, not have to worry about if they can receive offline, not have to worry about anything, then we're there. And I think it happens just like gradually. I don't think there's going to be like one day it's like Bitcoin's made it, right? It's going to be like very gradual and kind of like just merge its way silently into culture. And that's the way I want to see it personally. I don't want to see like some big shift and like the financial system collapses and like we're all scrambling to like start self-custodying, because I don't think that would be a good place to be in. But I agree. If we can slowly like start to do it, I think it's the right approach, I think. So.
All right. Unless there's anything else you want to talk about, the last thing we want to talk to you about is United are playing Chelsea today. Do you think United could lose?
No.
You think
Chelsea are shambles?
I know.
Chelsea are an absolute shambles. I'm a Man United fan from East London, so don't give me any flack or anything.
There's no way they can lose today.
No, there's no way they can lose today. I think Chelsea are done for the season. Like, they're just washed up. They've got no motivation. There's nothing going on. So I think Man United.
If Chelsea do win today, just say they do, can United lose to Fulham on the last day?
No, United are going to win every game for the rest of the season, including the FA Cup final.
So impartial. Such impartial bullshit. Complete impartial. Me and Danny got a bet.
Are you good? What's the bet?
Well, we did 4 bets.
4 bets. The first
you
bet...
lot love a bet, by the way.
I love it, but I usually win. So what was the first... Oh, the first one was Man U Liverpool. Okay. The last game. You did a 7-0.
Okay, yeah.
But we made the bet, and he's in Australia.
Wait, what, are you Liverpool?
No, I'm United fan.
United.
So I bet Liverpool, he bet United. Anyway, he's in Australia. He goes to bed. Not only does he wake up to see he's lost a bet, he wakes up to see 7-0. He has to like get his head around that.
And Twitter was blowing up because he was absolutely loving it.
And then what was the second bet? Was it top 4 or the second bet?
No, second bet was I bet Real Bedford wouldn't get 100 points.
Fucking 99 points we finished on.
That's crazy. Is that a record, do you know? Or
no, there's one team that only drew, like literally won every game apart from 2 which they drew.
Oh, okay.
But that was only with like 4 games to go, so it was close.
Yeah, he got me on that one because of course I'm going to say we're going to win them all.
I'm going to have to get in on some of these bets.
We drew with Fulham, and then I bet Liverpool would finish top 4. By the way, each bet's $1 million sats. Yeah.
Okay.
And then just being a twat, even though we were so far behind, I was like, I'll bet you $1 million sats we finish above United. And we were like 12 points, 15 points behind at that point. Yeah. But so then we went on a run.
I sense a football podcast coming from you, by the way.
Well, I've been thinking about it.
You're going to have to do an offshoot or something, but
I think this might just
sense it, you know.
This might just end up being a football and Bitcoin podcast. You know, Rogan's MMA and comedians are weirdos. This might just become Bitcoin and football.
Man.
It might work. One week I have Conor Okus. Next week I have Wolf Sahar.
Yeah, I've got a lot of good football takes, trust me.
Yeah. To be honest, we could have talked about football for 2 hours, but the people listening were like, shut the fuck up, I'm here for Bitcoin, I'm a nerd. So, all right, so you think, as a Man U fan, you think I'm going to lose the bet? You're completely impartial.
Yeah.
I think.
But in 2 hours, I'm going to be 2 million stats up.
2 hours?
It's 3 p.m. it'd be 3 p.m. kickoff, yeah.
A few hours.
A few hours. Yeah,
recording this live from Miami.
How
did you find the conference, actually?
I loved it. Preferred it from last year because it was tighter. all the people whinging about it, shut up. Like you weren't there. Like, okay, like 90% of people moaning weren't there. It's like you weren't there. So what are you moaning about?
Yeah.
Like what you would have gone if it had been different. No, you wouldn't have. Also, the things they were moaning about, there's conferences for them that suit them, and they don't even go to that. So just shut up, start a conference, or don't go. Just shut up.
I personally prefer like the more scaled down conferences with a lot more high signal. Although the open source stage was in the bleachers, like behind the couch, under the trash can. Like I'm only joking, but like I do prefer the smaller, more intimate.
I like them both.
Yeah,
I like Honey Badger and Riga, and I like this.
I'll see you in Prague when
I'll see you in Prague, and I will enjoy it. I think this is the thing about Bitcoin that people don't seem to understand is that we need lots of different people doing lots of different stuff. Yeah. Like, stop bitching about the stuff you don't like. If there's something not being done that you like, go and create it. Yeah. Go and make something. Yeah. You know, we need the big commercial conference here where you get the wider media interest. We also need the really niche ones. You're advancing Bitcoins, and we need the middle of the road ones, which will be ours. Yeah. You know, on a podcast level, you need the more liberal British guy who likes football, as well as you need your Marty Bents, and you need your Matt O'Dells on your privacy, and you need your Stefan Lever and your libertarian, and you need like a wide net. Yeah. So if you don't like my podcast, don't fucking listen. Go and start one, or go and listen to the one you like. Don't bitch about 100%. It. There's people who like it.
They've moved it to Nashville next year, right? So we can ride bulls and shoot guns in Nashville next year.
Exactly. If you don't, but if you don't like that, you can start. Like if you're in fucking Atlanta, Georgia, and you don't like this conference, start one in Atlanta, Georgia. And start a meetup. Get 50 people
shout
there.
Out to TabConf. There's one.
TabConf. There you go. We're like, or wherever you just do something. Yeah. Stop bitching, do something. I thought the conference was great. Yeah. Would I have done it the same? No. Mm-hmm. Am I in any position to complain? No.
You got your one coming up next year.
Got our one coming up. Yeah. They look. I said to David Bailey, sit on stage. It's like your 5th year, 6th year, whatever. You remain undefeated. Yeah. Like no one's come to take your crown. No one's going to take your crown. Yeah. Keep doing your thing. Ignore the haters. It's always like things that are successful get hated upon. Everyone will hate Man City now. They hated Man U. They hate this conference. They hate. God, I don't want to say me. They hate Real Bedford. They hate Taylor Swift. Anything successful, they hate. They hate. All right, let's finish. Tell us about your fight.
July 9th. So
wait, what's this?
So I like Muay Thai. I do Muay Thai.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to do an amateur fight on July 9th.
Very cool.
When did you last fight?
Like, I don't know, mid last year or something.
What's
just
your
like an interclub. I've only done a couple of interclubs, like 2-0.
2-0, so you won both?
Yeah.
Feeling good?
Feeling good, yeah. I don't know why I'm doing it. I think I'm just doing it to keep fit, to be honest. Since my football days are over, I've got to do something to keep this belly down, you know?
Don't tell me, man. Seriously. I'm literally got to go back after this. I'm like, fuck. Every trip, I'm like, I've got to sort this out. And I turn up in each location, I'm fatter each time.
Yeah, I'm gonna train, get on the intermittent fasting and see.
Ooh, tell him about that. Danny's just read a report.
Yeah, it was like the widest scale report they've ever done on intermittent fasting, and reckon it probably makes you have like a younger mortality. I don't know if it's true.
That's what she's on.
I mean, I'm saying, I probably shouldn't do it as the guy who literally does everything that will lead to an early death. So, like, what's one more thing?
No, I'm on that train. I'm on that train.
Yeah, but was it by like some central body?
Quite significant. Yeah, I don't know who it was by.
All right, you know, people who listen. Who's
the
NHS? Fuck you. Yeah, of course, it's stitch you up. Stitch me up. All right, Conor Okus, good luck in your fight. Good to see you, man. Right. We'll see you in the UK soon.
Yeah, 100%.
Thank you. We'll see you at Bedford.
Thanks for having me, man.